Chapter 30 and Second Baruch. And it will come to pass after these things, when the time of the advent of the Messiah is fulfilled, that he will return in glory. Then all who have fallen asleep in hope of him will rise again. And it will come to pass at that time that the treasuries will be opened, in which is preserved the number of the souls of the righteous. And they will come forth, and a multitude of souls will be seen together in one assemblage of one thought. And the first will rejoice, and the last will not be grieved. For they know that the time has come of which it is said that it is the consummation of the times. But the souls of the wicked, when they behold all these things, will then waste away more, for they will know that their torment has come and their perdition has arrived.
Okay, so now the commentary. I have forgotten. So what was the context of chapter 9? Uh I'm just trying to figure out if chapter 30 is I'm guessing that's his second return, right? And the first resurrection.
Yeah, I have second resurrection written right next to chapter 30 after the millennial reign.
Oh, you have second resurrection. Is
Yeah,
that what? Yeah,
yeah.
to me that makes better sense because looking at 29, um Messiah will begin to be revealed, and Behemoth will be revealed. Leviathan will I'm sorry, I'm just trying to catch up where we are. You know what I
No,
mean?
that's okay. A recap is good.
Yeah, it's been a little while since we recorded.
Yeah, it has. And then it says, those two great monsters which I created on the fifth day of creation and will have kept until that time. Here we go. Then they will be for food for all that are left. So this is his second return right here, right? Remember? And
Mhm.
he makes a feast of choice. So this, I think that the people that are left right after the slaughter, after his return and slaughter of the wicked. So the Feast of Tabernacles, right after his return on the Day of Atonement, they're fed Leviathan and Behemoth. I call it surf and turf. The earth. I bet it'll be good.
Oh, yeah.
The earth will also yield its fruit 10,000-fold, and on each vine there will be 1,000 branches. So this is obviously the millennial reign here, right?
Yep.
And each branch will produce 1,000 clusters, and each cluster produce 1,000 grapes, and each grape produce a core of wine. And those who have hungered will rejoice, and they will behold marvels every day. For the winds will go forth before me, Yahusha, to bring every morning the fragrance of aromatic fruits. Okay. Um, and it will come to pass at that same time that the treasury of manna will again descend from on high, and they will eat of it in those years, because these are they who have come to the consummation of time. And if you
Yep.
think about it, that kind of makes sense because when Yahushua returns, everything will be wiped out, right? You have these great hailstones, earthquakes, all the cities will be destroyed. So it's not like there's crops out there for people that are left to eat, right? So it makes sense he's going to have to rain down manna again for a while till they can get the crops going and stuff cleaned up. Do
I
y'all
kind
see it that way?
Yeah.
I do, and I kind of wonder if that manna goes through to the end of the sixth day in 2049, and in 2050 everything starts anew, and Yahusha is in the temple now. He's
Yeah.
dwelling.
Hey, Christina, why don't can we throw up that Jubilee so we can explain? There's 3 weeks or 21 years of cleanup, right? After he returns, before they even start working on the temple.
You know what? As much as I would love to, I'm on a different computer now, and all of my information is on the other one. Does somebody
Oh, okay.
else have a picture of the last page that could be thrown up? That just may be something I do is move a folder onto this computer.
Yeah, I can probably find it. Do you remember which Jubilee number it
It's
is?
124.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah,
I can put it up.
124.
Thanks,
Oh,
Rick.
thanks, Ray.
Do we know how many years they were fed manna coming out of Egypt?
40.
They'll be eating manna for about 21 years.
That's what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
So I want to show, what the priestly order shows us so everybody understands what we're saying. I think that would be helpful.
124, which one are we showing?
Yes, 124.
Page 124. Perfect.
Let me know if the zooming in and out helps or not.
Yeah, that helps. That helps.
Oh yeah, so this is the Jubilee 124, and you can see that. So we believe that 2029 on Yom Kippur is the end of the Jubilee year, and that's when we believe Yahusha's foot hits. So, but you still have 3 weeks left in day 6, right?
Mhm.
So, and then Christina, you found in Ezekiel, I forgot the chapter.
Yeah, it's in
that-
chapter 40, Ezekiel chapter 40, verse
Okay.
1. In 2041, the plans are laid out for the temple. And if you look at the second week 2, number 11, Eliashib is coming in. And his name means Yah will restore. So Yah is going to restore the temple. And so the instructions have been given, and then they will be laying the foundation of that. Yes, thank you, Deborah. According to Haggai 2:15, it'll be on the 24th day of the 9th month when the foundation is laid. And then they've got until 2049 to have it all completed for the 7th day, which begins in the year 2050. And of course, Gamul begins the new day,
Yeah.
which is
And then Ezekiel 43 describes Yahusha on the first day of the year coming in that east gate of the newly rebuilt temple. And that would be 2050 right there. So, so what, Christina, what we're saying is those first 3 weeks of that Jubilee
Mhm.
or 21 years is the cleanup of the earth. You got to redo the farm. Yah has completely destroyed this old world, so to speak. And he's not going to wiggle his nose and poof, everything be perfect. People are going to have to do the work, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna take a lot of time to rebuild and rebuild it Yah's way.
And
So
what's also interesting too is even though people don't know it, most people don't know it, we are in the exile right now.
Mhm.
The exile started in 2010, and the last 21 years of the exile is, as Mitsu was saying, it's cleanup time. It's cleanup time and also preparation for Yahusha to enter into the temple for day 7 in 2050.
And we have right now on Ezekiel's Key website links to print out. We have 2025 to 2050, but I'm in the process of working backwards, and I have from 2014 now to 2025. I'm going to post it when I have it completed, starting at 2010, which would represent the 40 years. So we'll have all 40 years of the walking in the wilderness. And then Ray, I don't know if your cursor will be visible, but on the bottom, like where you have the day um, listed there. I don't know if you can circle it, but anybody looking at the screen where it says day on the right margin there, it's cut off, but above that top day is day 6, and then below that is where
Is
day
day
7 begins.
Yes.
You know what just hit me, y'all? So I do think manna's going to be coming down those 3 weeks, but we're, like you were saying, Christina, these past the 40 years from 2010 to 2050,
Mhm.
we're receiving spiritual manna, are we
Yeah,
not?
we absolutely are. I
Yeah,
believe that wholeheartedly. Yes.
that just hit me. Duh, bread from heaven, right? His truth. And
Yes.
he's been opening it up, and a lot of it, it's not been available before he wanted it to be, is to what he wants, when he wants, and to whom he wants to receive it, right?
Mhm.
So definitely, I think we've been given manna.
Yes, definitely through the word. I'm thoroughly grateful.
Amen.
So, is there any questions on that? What we're trying to say here, that right at his return, it's going to be a complete mess, kind of like when Noah probably walked off of the ark, just a barren wasteland, right? Very few people, stuff destroyed, dead bodies everywhere, right? He's gonna have a grand feast for tabernacles, but after that, there's gonna be manna until things get straightened out.
Yeah, you consider too, all the animals have to regenerate their populations across the world in order to be able to sacrifice them. There will
Right,
be sacrifices in 2050, so I imagine Yah is going to be expanding on that.
right. So the first 2 weeks or 14 years, clean up your land, build yourself a house, get things in order. And then the third week will be everybody working together to build this temple.
Yeah.
So pretty neat. Okay. So now what does chapter 30
I feel
mean?
like we should reread it.
Yeah.
All right, you want me to reread it? Because I'll do it.
Sure.
Well, yeah, probably be a good idea now that we got the background information.
Okay. And it came to pass after these things, when the time of the advent of the Messiah is fulfilled, that he will return in glory. Then all who have fallen asleep in hope of him will rise again, and it will come to pass at that time that the treasuries will be open, in which is preserved the number of the souls of the righteous, and they will come forth. And a multitude of souls will be seen together in one assemblage of one thought. And the first will rejoice, and the last will not be grieved. For they know that the time has come, of which it is said that it is the consummation of the times. But the souls of the wicked, when they behold all these things, will then waste away more, for they will know that their torment has come and their perdition has arrived.
Okay. So a lot of people, I think, might get tripped up at verse 1 when it says he will return in glory. Because our first thought is, okay, that's his return. But I think what this is the procession of the second resurrection. Remember how we talked about when Yahusha spoke to those, I believe it's in Matthew, he said, when this generation arises in the regeneration, they'll condemn these other people, so the way I'm taking that is in the second resurrection, he is not going to resurrect all that's ever lived at once. It's going to be waves. And I think that's what he's referring to when it says, and they will come forth. And so a multitude of souls in one assemblage of one thought, the first will rejoice and the last will not be grieved. In other words, do you see what I'm saying? They're going to come in waves of assemblies of multitudes. It won't just be a mass at one instant, everybody comes up.
And it seems to me that we have a witness here in Second Esdras, chapter 7, verses 31 through 44, where it takes 7 years.
Right.
Right.
What's the address, Christina? Second Esdras.
Second Esdras, chapter 7, verses 31 through 44.
Thanks.
And I think when it's saying he will return in glory, I mean, these people, some of them have been dead for thousands of years, right? And they never witnessed his first coming, much less his second coming. So when he appears to them, it will be like he's coming, right? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
So
their first. Yeah.
right, it'll be their first introduction to the Messiah, basically. And do y'all know what I'm talking about? The scriptures in Matthew when he's talking about, like, for instance, the Queen of Sheba. He says the Queen of Sheba and her, they will condemn you because greater than Solomon is here. And then Sodom and Gomorrah will come up with you guys and they will condemn you because had the preaching that's been done to you, had it been done in Sodom and Gomorrah, they would repented. So he's kind of explaining to them that when all these souls come up, right, it's going to kind of be in generations, groups of generations at a time, which understood things of their time. In other words, he's not going to resurrect people that are living now with pre-flood people. He'll resurrect pre-flood people with pre-flood people and then move on to who knows, 500-year chunks, 1,000 year. We don't know, but it certainly sounds like it there to me. That's what's going on. And if you think about how many folks, so this is well, let's read it. According to Revelation 20, this is the rest of the dead. Okay, Revelation 20, verse 5. But the rest of the dead did not live again until the 1,000 years were finished. So that's what he's talking about. The second resurrection is everybody who's ever lived and died outside of the first resurrection, which is only 144,000 folks. So no telling how many billions and billions of people that's going to be. From the days of Adam and Eve until he slaughters everybody at his return, right? That is a boatload of people. And Yah is methodical. He is not chaotic. He's orderly. He's not going to just resurrect everybody at once and then chaos ensues. Heck, there'll probably be wars breaking out again. Whoever they were died fighting, they'll probably try to fight again when they wake up. But anyway, just I think that's what this is saying too.
All right, are we ready for chapter 31?
Well, sorry, I know. But one more thing here is interesting. It says, but the souls of the wicked, when they behold all these things, and then waste away more. because they know their torment has come and their perdition has arrived. So that's interesting because they know, right? They know perdition means like a fire. So somehow they know they've been prejudged, so they know this is about to be it. So to me, that tells you this is the great white throne judgment, right?
Yep.
So I think that's another key.
When they
But
reference wicked, when they reference wicked here, are this just humans or are we talking other entities, wicked entities, or both?
oh, yeah, good point, Ray. I think all of the above.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so for the fallen angels and demons, they know it's no
Even
more.
even the stars. Um, in the book of Enoch, it talks about the ones that transgressed their position, if you will, on the first day. And for 10,000 years, they are awaiting their judgment. I don't know that it's 10,000 years, but
Yeah, my mind was always wondering, boggling that, when was that 10,000 years, that time span?
Well, it
it
says
took
in
6 days.
Enoch,
It took 6 days uh to create, oops. It took 6 days to create the world, right? So maybe I'm wrong on what day they transgressed their order, but when you think about it, there's 6 days. The earth was created, Father rested on the seventh day, and then you've got another 7 days of so maybe they transgressed on the third day or the day that
Or
fourth
we
day.
had talked about the transgression on the first day, literal first day, but
Yeah,
those first 3 days of creation were actually 1,000 years each. And you
yes,
yes.
add that to the
yes,
7,000 and you get the 10.
Enoch did say there were some that didn't come when they were supposed to, like it was the first day.
yep.
I remember that's in Enoch. Don't ask me where right now, but I remember adding the time up in my head. It would be 10,000
It w
years if you count the seven and then from the first day. Like they immediately started, once they were created, started disobeying him.
Yeah, I remembered counting it also, and I came up with 10,000 years.
Yeah, I remember we talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
And it is not just with consideration of the 7,000 years. And I wish I knew where it was in my Enoch book because I wrote it down. But
Oh, we'll find it when we're not looking for it. That always goes that way.
And here's the proof of what perdition means in scripture. It's in 2 Peter 3:7. But the heavens and the earth, which are now preserved by the same word, are reserved for fire until the day of judgment. And that's what we're talking about right here. And perdition of ungodly men. And again in Revelation 17:8, the beast that you saw was and is not and will ascend out of the bottomless pit and go to perdition, meaning lake of fire. So there you go. And then, so when the earth burns, when he destroys heaven and earth with fire, that turns into the lake of fire. And all wicked men, all fallen angels, and all demons will be burned up and completely destroyed forever. And that's the definition of perdition.
Are we ready for 31?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And it came to pass after these things that I went to the people and said to them, Assemble to me all your elders, and I will speak words to them. And they all assembled in the valley of the Kidron. And I answered and said to them, Hear, O Israel, and I will speak to you. And give ear, O seed of Yaakov, and I will instruct you. Do not forget Zion, but hold in remembrance the anguish of Jerusalem. For behold, the days come when everything that is will become the prey of corruption, and be as though it had not been.
So what do those double lines in there mean on my copy? Does it mean there's some missing words?
That I don't know. I've noticed that in a few of these little brackets here. Yeah, it could be
Yeah.
that there's some things missing. But I've got Psalm 9 with it. Um, and I'll go ahead and I'll read it. I praise you, O Yahuwah, with all my heart. I declare all your wonders. I rejoice and exult in you. I sing praise to your name, O Most High. When my enemies turn back, they stumble and perish before you. For you executed my right and my cause. You sat on the throne judging in righteousness. You have rebuked the nations. You have destroyed the wrong. You have wiped out their name forever and ever. The enemy is no more, ruins everlasting. And you have uprooted the cities, even their remembrance has perished. But Yahuwah abides forever. He is preparing his throne for judgment, and he judges the world in righteousness. He judges the people in straightness. And Yahuwah is a refuge for the crushed one, a refuge in times of distress. And those who know your name trust in you, for you have not forsaken those who seek you, O Yahuwah. Sing praises to Yahuwah who dwells in Zion. Declare his deeds among the peoples, for he remembers the seekers of bloodshed. He does not forget the cry of the afflicted. Show favor to me, O Yahuwah. See my affliction by those who hate me. You who lift me up from the gates of death, so that I declare all your praise in the gates of the daughter of Zion. I rejoice in your deliverance. The nations have sunk down in the pit which they made. In the net which they hid, their own foot is caught. Yahuwah has made himself known. He has done right ruling. The wrong is snared in the work of his own hands. Meditation, Salah. The wrong return to Sheol, all the nations that forget Elohim. For the needy is not always forgotten, neither the expectancy of the poor lost forever. Arise, O Yahuwah, do not let man prevail. Let the nations be judged before your face. Put them in fear, O Yahuwah. Let the nations know they are but men. Selah. And also what I have with chapter 9 of Psalms is each of these letters actually means something. And I got a sentence out of it. It says, Depart from the house of pride, reveal to man a weapon to cut off the snake that serves to oppress. And it goes with chapter 10, whose letters also say, Control the mouth, consider the affliction of a person trampled underfoot with understanding.
I think in a nutshell, chapter 31 means, you know, don't forget, y'all, all this other stuff is going to come to nothing and not mean anything when after the judgment, when there's a new heavens and a new earth. Rarely will this previous world even come to mind anymore, right?
Yeah. Okay, chapter 32. But as for you, if you prepare your hearts so as to sow in them the fruits of the law, it will protect you in that time in which the Mighty One is to shake the whole creation. Because after a short time the building of Zion will be shaken in order that it may be built again. But that building will not remain, but will again after a time be rooted out, and will remain desolate until the time. And afterward it must be renewed in glory and perfected forevermore. Therefore, we should not be distressed so much over the calamity which has now come as over that which is still to be. For there will be a greater trial than these two tribulations, when the Mighty One will renew his creation. And now do not draw near to me for a few days, nor seek me until I come to you. And it came to pass, when I had spoken all these words to them, that I, Baruch, went my way. And when the people saw me setting out, they lifted up their voice and lamented, and said, To where are you departing from us, Baruch? And are you forsaking us as a father who forsakes his orphan children and departs from them? That almost sounds like the same thing Elijah said, or Elisha in 2 Kings. I'm something to that. Uh-oh. Oh no, you okay?
What happened?
Oh. Uh-oh, you sick?
Let's see. I'm not sure what temple they're on there, but obviously we know only the New Jerusalem will be the only building that remains forever, right? Not even the Millennial Temple, it'll get burned up with the earth. So,
Yeah, I had some notes here. I had the Great Throne Judgment here, but I also had Hebrews 12:27. So hopefully I was thinking right when I put it down. So Hebrews 12:27 says, And this yet once more makes clear the removal of what is shaken, as having been made so that the unshaken matters might remain. And I have next to that Yah's word. Therefore, receiving an unshakable reign, let us hold the favor through which we serve Elohim pleasingly with reverence and awe. For indeed, our Elohim is a consuming fire.
so only the righteous is going to come out of the great white throne judgment. And even the earth, heavens and earth won't remain, but then the new heavens and earth and the new Jerusalem and all the righteous will remain. I agree, Christina. I think that's what it's talking about.
Yeah. And I also have Acts 1:4-5. Make sure. It says, And meeting with them, he commanded them not to leave Jerusalem, but to wait for the promise of the Father, which you have heard from me. Because Yochanan truly immersed in water, but you shall be immersed in the place to part Ruach not many days from now. I don't know why I put that in there.
Well, those who receive his Holy Spirit and hang on to it will in the end be in this,
In
be in
this,
his kingdom forever.
right. Okay, chapter 33. Are these the commands which your companion Jeremiah the prophet commanded you, and said to you, Look to this people until I go and make ready the rest of the brothers in Babylon against whom has gone forth the sentence that they should be led into captivity? And now, if you also forsake us, it were good for us all to die before you, than that you should withdraw from us.
So I
Yes.
guess it sounds, Jeremiah left them to go speak to the captives in Babylon. Of course, this is Yahudim, right? And they're saying, don't you leave us too.
Yep. Yeah, it sounds like they're fearing because now, where have all their prophets gone? All the priests.
Yep.
Okay, chapter 34. And I answered and said to the people, Far be it from me to forsake you or to withdraw from you. But I will only go to the Holy of Holies to inquire of the Mighty One concerning you and concerning Zion, if in some respect I should receive more illumination, and after these things I will return to you. So, in a nutshell, he just tells them he's not going to forsake them, but um, he'll be visiting the Holy of Holies to get answers from Yahuwah on what they need to be doing.
So, okay, do you think that's before or after the destruction of the temple? Is he just going back to where the Holy of Holies was?
Good question.
Yeah. And see,
Who knows where it is? This is a great question. I love that.
Well,
what's really
yeah.
what's really strange is I have in my little brain that the temple is already destroyed and he's just going there. But maybe that's the wrong vision that I have in my head.
Well, in 35, looky here, it says, I, Baruch, went to the holy place and sat down on the ruins. So he
Oh,
knew,
it's after, yeah.
yeah, think about it. If it were still standing, he wouldn't walk in there. He
Mm-mm.
couldn't. But where it was, he could sit down, right?
Right. Yep.
So
Yes.
I think it was destroyed at that point.
Wait, so I'm sorry. Are you saying you think that the Holy of Holies was destroyed?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it said no stone would be left.
No, no, no. I know. I meant the place, but you think the actual ark was destroyed? I guess that's what I
Oh,
meant.
I think it was okay. I think Jeremiah took it out before Nebuchadnezzar ever came
Yeah.
in there. And
Okay,
then I
so
think they completely burned and destroyed the temple.
I guess I was questioning, did Baruch know where it was hidden, and was he going to the Ark of the Covenant when he's saying the Holy of Holies, or do you think he's just going to the ruins of the temple where the Holy of Holy was?
I think
Yes, the
he's at
latter.
the, yeah, I would agree with that.
I'm thinking Jeremiah to protect everybody else isn't going to tell any of them where it is. Think about it. I think only Jeremiah kind of knew where it was hidden. But anyway, because from reading ahead to chapter 35, I think he sat down on the ruins. So that's not where the Ark of the
Right, and
Covenant
it
was.
says, I, Baruch, went to the holy place.
Yeah.
Keys, which
And that's
even
not
about the
where
ark.
the squatters think it is. It's not where the Dome of the Rock is.
There's no Wailing Wall where Baruch is, right?
No, no,
No.
no.
Well, we might as well go to 35.
Yeah. Sorry, I read ahead.
No, that's awesome. And I, Baruch, went to the holy place and sat down on the ruins and wept, and said, Oh, that my eyes were springs, and my eyelids a fount of tears. For how will I lament for Zion, and how will I mourn for Jerusalem? Because in that place where I am now prostrate, Of old, the high priest offered holy sacrifices and placed an incense of fragrance odors thereon. But now our glorying has been made into dust, and the desire of our soul into sand. To be able to experience what he went through. We don't know what it's like to have a temple. But I do know the excitement of the one coming up in Ezekiel, you know, that is going to
Gonna
be,
blow his away.
yeah, it will. But you know what? Baruch will be there to see it.
Oh
He's
yeah.
one of the brides.
Yep.
I've got Ezekiel 9:4 with that. And let's read Ezekiel 9:4. And Yahuwah said to him, pass on into the midst of the city, into the midst of Jerusalem, and put a mark on the foreheads of the men who sigh and cry for all the abominations that are done within it. I also have Lamentations 2:11. Which says, my eyes are spent with tears, my inward parts ferment. My bile has been poured on the ground because of the destruction of the daughter of my people, as children and the infants languish in the streets of the city. Any comments before going on to 36? Okay. And when I had said these things, I fell asleep there, and I saw a vision in the night. And behold, a forest of trees planted on the plain, and lofty and rugged rocky mountains surrounded it, and that forest occupied much space. And behold, over against it arose a vine, and from under it there went forth a fountain peacefully. Now that fountain came to the forest and was stirred into great waves, and those waves submerged the forest, and suddenly they rooted out the greater part of that forest and overthrew all the mountains which were around it. And the height of the forest began to be made low, and the top of the mountains were made low, and that fountain prevailed greatly, so that it left nothing of that great forest save one cedar only. Also, when it had cast it down and had destroyed and rooted out the greater part of that forest, so that nothing was left of it, nor could its place be recognized, then that vine began to come with the fountain in peace and great tranquility. And it came to a place which was not far from that cedar. And they brought the cedar which had been cast down to it. And I beheld, and behold, that vine opened its mouth and spoke and said to that cedar, are you not that cedar which was left of the forest of wickedness, and by whose means wickedness persisted and was worked all those years and never for good? And you kept conquering that which was not yours, and to that which was yours you never showed compassion. And you kept extending your power over those who were far from you, and those who drew near you. You held fast in the toils of your wickedness. And you always uplifted yourself as one that could not be rooted out. But now your time has sped and your hour has come. Do you also therefore depart, O cedar, after the forest, which departed before you, and become dust with it, and let your ashes be mingled together. And now recline in anguish and rest in torment until your last time comes, in which you will come again and be tormented still more. I kind of get a mixed vision of seeing the time before Noah and our present time today. Especially when I see, or when I read, you kept conquering that which was not yours. And to that which was yours, you never showed compassion, and you kept extending your power over those who were far from you. That kind of sounds like something a horrible leader of a country would be doing to other places.
Check out Ezekiel 31. I think this matches with Ezekiel 31. Um, and it's interesting. Whom are you like in your greatness? Starting in verse 2. Indeed, Assyria was a cedar in Lebanon. So he's comparing nations to trees here, with
Yeah.
fine branches that shaded the forest and a high stature, and its top was among the thick boughs. The waters made it grow, underground waters gave it height. It kind of goes on. Verse 5, therefore its height was exalted above all trees of the field. He's talking about Assyria here. Its boughs were multiplied, its branches became long because of the abundance of water. And the birds of heavens made their nest in it. Under its branches, all the beasts of the field brought forth their young. Verse 7, it was beautiful in greatness in the length of its branches because its roots reached to the abundant waters. The cedars in the garden of Elohim could not hide it. The fir trees were not like its boughs. The chestnut trees were not like its branches. No tree in the garden of Elohim was like it in beauty. I made it beautiful with a multitude of branches so that all the trees of Eden envied it that were in the garden of Elohim. And if you keep going, because you have increased in height and set its top among the thick boughs, and its heart was lifted up in its height, therefore I will deliver it into the hand of the mighty one of the nations, and he shall surely deal with it. I have driven it out for its wickedness. And this goes on. But it's interesting. If you keep going on, verse 16, I made the nations shake at the sound of its fall, when I cast it down to hell, together with those who descend into the pit, and all the trees of Eden, choice and best of Lebanon, all that drink the water. It just, to which of the trees, verse 18, in Eden, will you then be likened in glory and greatness? Yet you shall be brought down with the trees of Eden to the depths of the earth. You shall lie in the midst of the uncircumcised, with those slain by the sword. I kind of think what this is, you know how he compares trees to people? He
Yeah.
also compares the great trees to the leaders of the nations, right? And we've talked about this before. Fallen angels are over the nations right now. They were in the Garden of Eden, right?
Yep.
And that's what it sounds like to me. He's warning the leaders of these nations, your time's up if you guys don't repent. And it ties also with Psalm 82. And he's also warning the nations, but that there's coming a time he's going to chop down all these great trees and replace them with his saints, right? And I think it's interesting, he calls out specifically Assyria. When you read what Baruch wrote, I hear the United States.
Yeah.
Have we not tried to, I mean, we raise up nations, we make nations fall, and we're cruel to our own people, are we not?
Yes. Yes.
When we were reading, you kept conquering that which was not yours. That was making me think of Japheth, and we know that Japheth with
Yes,
Syria
Yes.
connection.
yes. And who is the lead nation of Japheth? Yah says it, Assyria. Yeah, Israel's the lead nation of Shem, and Egypt is the lead nation of Ham. So you're right. He's specifically calling out Japheth. And then the lead nation of Japheth is Assyria. And that's why I guess I keep thinking it's the United States, especially in the end times.
Yeah. And for some reason, uh, there's it's either in Jeremiah or in Isaiah, and I'm looking for it, but I'm just not finding it. But it also talks about that cedar tree of Assyria and how he got hewn down. And I cannot for the life of me,
Is it Isaiah 28?
maybe that is it. Let's take a look.
No, I'm already there. Um, but yeah, he's talking about will the axe. I think I know where you're talking about.
Yeah, and I I had read it years and years ago, and I remember writing about it because it also reminded me of the Devil's Tower in Wyoming, how those huge trees were hewn down. Um,
Oh yeah, Isaiah 10.
okay, I went too far.
Isaiah 10 verse 5, woe to Assyria, the rod of my anger,
Yep, that I
and the
think that's it.
staff in whose my hand is my indignation. I will send him against an ungodly nation, against the people of my wrath. I will give him charge to seize the spoil, to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. Yet he does not mean so, nor does his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy and cut off not a few nations. And remember, Assyria was used to punish Israel, the northern tribe. And then verse 12, therefore it shall come to pass, the eternal, when he has performed all his work on Mount Zion and on Jerusalem, he will say, I will punish the fruit of the arrogant heart of the king of Assyria and the glory of his haughty looks. Um, 15, shall the axe boast itself against him who chops with it, or the saw exalt itself against him who saws with it? And then he goes on. I don't know if that's what you're talking about or not, but it's clear that he used Assyria to come against the northern Israel, but then
Yeah,
he turned around and punished Assyria.
yeah, this is it. Because when we get down to, let's say 18, well, let's go back to 17. And the light of Israel shall be for a fire, and his place apart one for a flame. And it shall burn and devour his weeds and his thorn bushes in one day, and consume the esteem of his forest and of his fertile field, both life and flesh. And they shall be as when a sick man wastes away, and the remaining trees of his forest shall be so few in number that a child records them. So this sounds like the coming uh, devastation that's coming here to the US. This is definitely Assyria.
Yeah. And then he goes into talking about the remnant of Jacob will return, right? So
Yep.
yeah, that ties in with the end times and the destruction of Assyria. And then back to Ezekiel 31 too, 31 also, I should say. I think Assyria, the fallen angel that is over this nation, I don't think it's Satan, but it's one of his top dudes. That he is a piece of work.
Yeah, how fortunate for us to be sitting in that country, right? Whew.
Great patriarch.
Neil said that's not very patriotic.
That.
He can keep the patriotism.
He just likes to make commentary and jokes in the background.
Well,
I
it's
spare
actually,
y'all from most of it.
well, it's kind of a nice break from this dismal future we've got
Yeah, really. Thank you for the comic relief, Neil.
going.
That is neat though, how everything we're going through Baruch is in, in the so-called canon, right?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, they saw the danger of leaving that in scripture.
Oh yeah.
Too many witnesses.
All right, I'll move on to chapter 37. And after these things, I saw that cedar burning, and the vine growing itself and all around it, the plain full of unfading flowers. And I indeed woke and arose. Chapter 38.
Well,
And
hold it.
okay.
So so that cedar, we saw witnesses, the main one's Assyria, the largest, highest one in Eden was Assyria. But it's interesting because the vine, who is the vine according to scripture? Israel.
Yahushua. Oh, Israel. Okay.
Israel. Yeah. So in the millennium, all the cedars, all the fallen angel rulers of the nations will be brought down. And who's going to be the King of Kings? The Elohim of Israel, the vine, right? I
Mhm.
am the vine. My father is the dresser, the vine dresser, right? So he's bringing down all these holy so-called gods, but he's humble. He's a vine. He's not a great cedar tree, although ironically, he is the King of Kings. You see what I'm saying there here, though? I mean,
Yeah.
that's scripture coming alive. The vine is Israel, and the King of Israel is going to take over. Do y'all see that, or am I crazy?
No, I see what you're saying.
No,
Okay.
this is cool. Chapter 38. And I prayed and said, O Yahuwah, my Elohim, you always enlighten those who are led by understanding. Your law is life, and your wisdom is right guidance. Therefore, make known to me the interpretation of this vision, for you know that my soul has always walked in your law, and from my earliest days I did not depart from your wisdom. Any commentary on that? Chapter 39. And he answered and said to me, Baruch, this is the interpretation of the vision which you have seen. As you have seen the great forest, which lofty and rugged mountains surrounded, this is the word. Behold, the days come, and this kingdom will be destroyed, which once destroyed Zion, and it will be subjected to that which comes after it. Moreover, that also again after a time will be destroyed, and another, a third will arise, and that also will have dominion for its time and will be destroyed. And after these things, a fourth kingdom will arise, whose power will be harsh and evil far beyond those which were before it. And it will rule many times as the forests on the plain, and it will hold fast for times, and will exalt itself more than the cedars of Lebanon. And by it the truth will be hidden, and all those who are polluted with iniquity will flee to it, as evil beasts flee and creep into the forest. And it will come to pass when the time of its consummation, that it should fall, has approached, then the principate of my Messiah will be revealed, which is like the fountain and the vine, and when it is revealed, it will root out the multitude of its host. And as touching that which you have seen, the lofty cedar which was left of that forest, and the fact that the vine spoke those words with it which you heard, This is the word. And of course, I've got Japheth written all over 39.
Yeah. And it's interesting, verse 5 talks about the fourth kingdom. And if you think back to Daniel's vision, right, the fourth kingdom is the final Roman Empire, right, which is the beast system power. So that goes right along with scripture again. The four ruling Gentile powers. And I think they're all Japheth, Christina.
Yep, I definitely agree. I mean, Japheth has just been rotten to the core. It's kind of funny because years and years and years ago, when, I was just reading the scriptures and not really knowing what I was reading, and reading that, oh, Japheth was going to be a part of Shem's tent. And obviously, uh, is a whole different meaning. I used to think, oh, this is, kind of neat. I just had no idea. I just had no idea how rotten these brothers could be. I mean, and Japheth is just, well, he's the epitome.
What it meant was is he was going to steal Shem's tents and run Shem out of it.
Yes. Yep. And do the same thing to Ham as well.
Yeah,
When you
yeah.
consider how many red, white, and blue flags are all over the world. So he's going to crush that dominion first. Okay, chapter 40. The last leader of that time will be left alive when the multitude of his hosts will be put to the sword, and he will be bound, and they will take him up to Mount Zion, and my Messiah will convict him of all his impieties, and will gather and set before him all the work of his hosts. And afterward he will put him to death, and protect the rest of my people which will be found in the place which I have chosen. And his principate will stand forever until the world of corruption is at an end, and until the times previously mentioned are fulfilled. This is your vision, and this is its interpretation.
It talks about the multitude of his host. I wonder if this is the or the angel that's over Assyria, and he has a bunch of angels below him, right?
Who would have to, they're like a military, right?
Yeah.
That's what military is. It's um, I think I don't know, it's what we see is a satanic version of military. It's not Yah's military.
No. And then this reminds me, it's somewhere in Deuteronomy that says Yahusha will deal with his enemies face to face. So that's what I can see Yahusha saying, take that one, don't kill him yet. I'm going to talk to him first. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's definitely not today. We don't um actually, no, I'm thinking of something else. Never mind.
What I'm saying is, though, this guy isn't over humans, he's over other principalities.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You don't think
What?
it's Hasatan?
I kind of don't think so. I think he's even higher. Well, at that point, Hasatan, Revelation, I think it's 20, the first thing he does at his return is bind Satan. And then I think he goes after his higher ups. That's my opinion. What's yours, Christina? I think Assyria is probably one of his top seven angels, though.
Well, he's the one that's ruling the area, if not most of the world, right? Because he's telling his army to go out and conquer.
Yeah. Here it is. It's Deuteronomy 7:10. I always love this. It says, He, Yah, repays those who hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack with him who hates him. He will repay him to his face. And I think that's exactly what he's doing to this Assyria cat. He keeps him alive and he's like, I'm gonna be speaking to him face to face first before we take him out. Because he says, My Messiah will convict him of all his impieties and will gather and set before him all the works of his host, and afterwards he will put him to death.
You know, that kind of sounds like when Father opens up the heavens, right? And the kings look up and they see him and they're like, "Oh no." So they go off running and the angel basically left standing there by himself because his little army just ran off. Is the vision I see.
Yeah.
He got abandoned.
But yeah, I see what you're saying, Tracy. I mean, Hasatan or Satan's not his name, it's a title, so I don't know. But it says he kills them, so
Well,
Thanks.
yeah. He does say in scripture that they will die as men. And
yes.
isn't that in Psalm 80, 82?
Yes, it sure does. But that would kind of make this the great white throne judgment, though. I
Yeah.
think he turns them to flesh, and then, yeah.
Oh, now that would be a sight.
Yeah, and it says I think it's Isaiah 14 lays him before kings like he turns them to flesh and they say, Is this the man that shook the nations?
Oh, that's in Ezekiel also. I
Yeah.
just read that this morning.
28.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the next, yeah, 28.
yes.
So yeah, it's clear. I mean, that's how he kills spirit, right? A lot of people think, well, he can't kill the angels. Of course he can. Where would Yahusha be if the Father didn't resurrect him? He just turns them to flesh and destroys them.
Yeah. Let's see, that would be Ezekiel chapter 28, verses 13 through 26. Or actually, maybe not that far. But yeah, this is Japheth, which we'll be talking more about next week. And then with that, we've got Isaiah 14, 1 through 13.
Yep. I mean, right there, I brought fire from your midst. It devoured you, and I turned you to ashes upon the earth in the sight of all who saw you. And he plainly said in verse 13, You were in Eden, the garden of Elohim. So, he said in verse 13 later, your workmanship of your timbrels and pipes was prepared for you on the day you were created. This is definitely a fallen angel. So he turned them to flesh and killed them. And then it says, You have become a horror and shall be no more forever. Verse 19. And I don't think that's Satan because in verse 14 it says you were the anointed cherub. And again, I think Satan was a seraphim who is a higher angel than a cherubim. And we went through all that, right? seraphim flank the Most High and cherubim flank Yahusha. So this is not Satan.
And Hasatan would have known better than to do what these other angels did. He's just a major deceiver, an
Yeah,
instigator of all things.
yep.
Okay, we ready for 41? And I answered and said, For whom and for how many will these things be? Or who will be worthy to live at that time? For I will speak before you everything that I think, and I will ask of you regarding those things which I meditate. For behold, I see many of your people who have withdrawn from your covenant, and cast from themselves the yoke of your law. But others again I have seen who have forsaken their vanity and fled for refuge beneath your wings. What therefore will be to them? Or how will the last time receive them? Or perhaps the time of these will assuredly be weighed, and as the beam inclines, will they be judged accordingly. Not really sure what to think of this one.
No, me either. I guess just keep reading.
Yeah. Chapter 42. And he answered and said to me, I will show these things to you. As for what you said, to whom will these things be, and how many will they be? To those who believed, there will be the good which was spoken of formerly, and to those who despise, there will be the contrary of these things. And as for what you said regarding those who have drawn near and those who have withdrawn, this is the word, this in the word. As for those who were before subject and afterward withdrew and mingled themselves with the seed of mingled peoples, the time of these was the former, and was accounted as something exalted. And as for those who before did not know, but afterward knew new life, and mingled only with the seed of the people which had separated itself, the time of these is the latter, and is accounted as something exalted. And time will succeed the time, and season to season, and one will receive from another, and then with a view to the consummation, everything will be compared according to the measure of the times and the hours of the seasons. For corruption will take those that belong to it, and the life those that belong to it. And the dust will be called, and there will be said to it, Give back that which is not yours, and raise up all that you have kept until its time. Almost get the feeling here. We're seeing a couple of opposite things happening here. We're seeing people in our time right now, we're all mingled together, right? Because the overlords have thought, hey, let's just destroy everybody's whatever they have. We'll just call it culture for the sake of understanding. And we're just going to mingle everybody all together. So then we come up with this new, brand new thing, and nobody is unique in their own way. That's where we're at now. But when we go into the millennial reign, now we're going to have a separation of peoples. We are going to have the nations, and we're going to have Israel. And there won't be that mingling again that we have today, right? That's just what I saw when I was reading it. That's what was forming in my mind. And that would be
And
most exalted, right?
I agree, Christina, because look what Yah did. He separated the nations. He told them to, spread out, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Here's your land, spread out, be fruitful, multiply, but stay in your places, right? Don't mix. And then you have Nimrod, who was an occultic Satanist, come along. What did he try to do, right? Bring everybody together, one tongue, one thought, one nation, just like a mixing pot. Nobody is distinct or different, just all do the same thing. And we're going to come together and be against Yah. And that's basically what's going to be in the beast system, right? One world order. No national boundaries, no distinctions of the nations, just everybody, eh, right? Go
Yeah.
where you want. Just, Satan wants robots, hive mind robots that can be controlled, all doing the same things, liking the same things. That's not what y'all wants, not at all. So I agree with you. We're living in the days of Nimrod again, and it's the one world order. That's what they're trying to have. It's Satan's way, not y'all's.
Yeah. And I see him separating everybody out. So Israel will be separated out 5 months before Yom Teruah, and they'll go out together.
Yep.
Will the nations have a name? Like, will they be named? Right? We'll have the tribes, right? But will, the outer nations have a name?
Yeah, we'll go back there, but he talks about Assyria, Egypt, and Israel. Um, so I think so. Will they be exactly I think he's gonna put them back to the 70 original. Assyria.
So
the-
basically, we're still going to have a Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Oh,
This is
absolutely.
this is just going to be a more righteous bunch than what we've had all the thousands of years.
Got it.
Right. It's Isaiah 19. Let's go there. But definitely, I mean, he's going to separate everybody into nations the way he meant it to be from the start. Um,
Nations that don't come to the feast.
yeah, and that's true. He talks about the nations that don't come up like they're supposed to. Egypt comes up again. Isaiah 19. Let's start in 21. Then the Eternal will be known to Egypt, and the Egyptians will know the Eternal in that day, and will make sacrifice and offering. Yes, they will make a vow to the Eternal and perform it. And the Eternal will strike Egypt, he will strike and heal it, and they will return to the Almighty, and he will be entreated by them and heal them. In that day, so this is, at the beginning of the millennial reign, in that day there will be a highway from Egypt to Assyria, and the Assyrian will come into Egypt, and the Egyptian into Assyria, and the Egyptians will serve with the Assyrians. In that day, Israel will be one of three, with Egypt and Assyria, a blessing in the midst of the land, whom the Eternal of hosts shall bless, saying, Blessed is Egypt, my people, and Assyria, the work of my hands, and Israel, my inheritance. So, and there again, there's your three leading nations of the three sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and they will all learn from each other and learn from Israel, the leading nation. And of course, that's where all the feast will be, the holy days, and they will say, Come, let us go up to Zion and learn from the Almighty. So finally, they'll be doing what y'all wanted to them to be the whole time, right?
Right. In their proper place, right? In their proper order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
But they, of course, will be friendly, no more war. They'll trade, because different parts of the world have different treasures and they'll barter, sell, and they'll all come together to Jerusalem on those feast days and rejoice together and probably become the brothers that Yah meant them to be from the start.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Just think, now you can go travel. Now you can
There you
go,
go.
yeah, yeah. Now you can go and see the edge of the earth. Go up to the middle of the world and see 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 North Pole, right? There won't be anybody hiding it. You can travel now.
Right. We go touch the edge of the firmament. You might
Yeah.
have to take a bride with you to carry you out there, but
Disney World.
Yep.
yeah, I think we have no idea how wonderful it'll be. They'll have a hard time comprehending what we lived through, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Just like we're having a hard time comprehending what it's going to be like to move freely about and love one another.
Yep. We'll probably hear, "Are you serious? You're lying to me. That didn't really happen." It's like, "Oh yeah."
Oh, but imagine all of the historical books that they're going to get out of the Vatican. Imagine all of that information that has been hidden away from us, right? They're going to have it and they're going to be far wiser than we ever were.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've always thought maybe there'll be movie night in the Millennium to, okay, here's what really happened, and here's, slide in bride number whatever that lived there and can tell you what really happened.
Oh, I
I've
love
always,
movie night. Maybe Father will have one of those
yeah,
for us.
yeah, here's the real truth and the real history.
We'll all be sitting on the edge of our seats.
Yeah. Who knows, Christina, you might be narrating one night. Like, I was there, I saw this.
That would be just so cool, especially if I could do it with you guys.
Well, I hope we're all together.
I do too. That would be super cool. All
Yeah, I
right.
do too.
All right, chapter 43. But you, Baruch, direct your heart to that which has been said to you, and understand those things which have been shown to you. For there are many continuous consolations for you. For you will depart from this place, and you will pass from the regions which are now seen by you, and you will forget whatever is corruptible, and will not again recall those things which happen among mortals. Therefore go and command your people, and come to this place, and afterward fast 7 days, and then I will come to speak. I will come to you and speak with you. So it sounds to me like Baruch was told that he is going to be a bride, and he's not going to remember what happens.
Daniel was basically told that too. Go
Yeah.
your way and you will rise to your inheritance.
Yep. I think Ezra was also told that he's got his reward waiting for him.
But I think what they all had in common was it was at the end of their rodeo.
Right.
Our rodeo's just starting.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, and for some of the bride, if they're able to escape it, that's awesome for them. And then the rest of the bride, well, she's got to be pressed a little bit. Okay, chapter 44. And I, Baruch, went from there and came to my people, and I called my firstborn son, and the Gedaliahs, my friends, and 7 of the elders of the people. And I said to them, Behold, I go to my fathers, according to the way of all the earth. But do not withdraw from the way of the law, but guard and admonish the people which remain, lest they withdraw from the commandments of the Mighty One. For you see that he whom we serve is just, and our Creator is no respecter of persons. And we see what has befallen Zion, and what has happened to Jerusalem. For the judgment of the Mighty One will thereby be made known, and his ways, which, though past findings out, are right. For if you endure and persevere in his fear, and do not forget his law, the times will change over you for good, and you will see the consolation of Zion. Because whatever now is nothing, but that which will be is very great. For everything that is corruptible will pass away, and everything that dies will depart, and all the present time will be forgotten. Nor will there be any remembrance of the present time which is defiled with evils. For that which runs now runs to vanity, and that which prospers will quickly fall and be humiliated. For that which is to be will be the object of desire. And for that which comes afterward will we hope. For it is a time that does not pass away, and the hour comes which abides forever. And the new world comes which does not turn to corruption those who depart to its blessedness, and has no mercy on those who depart to torment, and does not lead to perdition those who live in it. For these are they who will inherit that time which has been spoken of, and theirs is the inheritance of the promised time. These are they who have acquired for themselves treasures of wisdom, and with them are found stores of understanding. And they have not withdrawn from mercy, and they have preserved the truth of the law. For the world will be given to them, but the dwelling of the rest, who are many, will be in the fire.
Right there. So, it's all over the place in Esdras and Baruch that it's not just going to be a few that are deemed wicked at the end.
It's many.
Yep. I've told this to several of you, but I still think, he promised Abraham that his seed would be as the stars of heaven. And so Abraham's seed, of course, is those who choose righteousness, right? And we know the stars of the heaven, a third are fallen. So I always kind of wondered, all right, is he telling us, and each of us has an angel, right? So a third of humans that have ever been born will eventually go to the lake of fire. I don't know if I'm right or not, but a third of billions and billions and billions potentially is many.
That is,
But
yeah.
it's not the majority, right?
Yep.
I, of course, don't know if that's true, but I'm wondering if he's trying to tell us. It's kind of interesting.
Well, it is when you consider that Enoch even says that we are like the stars.
Yep,
So, who's going to replace those stars? It's got to be us, right?
yep.
1/3. That means what? 2/3 of the people will be gone. That's a lot.
No, I think so. what I'm trying to say is I think only a third.
Ah,
So we have our angel, right? I think it's somewhere in Acts. We all have an assigned angel. And I think that angel mirrors, so Yah knows the end from the beginning. We just talked about this, that he foreknew the bride, right?
yep.
He declared the end from the beginning. So doesn't it make sense that your angel, its glory is equal to what your glory will be? And your angel is deemed righteous or fallen. He already knows, right? We're his vessels, some made for glory, some made for destruction. Do you see
Yeah.
what
And you
I'm
know,
saying? So I think there's a parallel. Our angel, we have no clue who our angel is, but our angel's glory and power is equivalent to our position that Yah knows we're gonna make. Or if our angel is a fallen angel, we are a son of perdition. That's what I'm trying to say. So a third of humans will be like a fire, and two-thirds will remain righteous.
and doesn't it say somewhere that he will give us the bright morning star? And so that kind of correlates with the father giving away his bride. You know,
Yeah, and the bright morning star is Yahusha. So we all have him. He is our King and
exactly.
Savior. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right. Yeah. I'm just throwing out my little and I've put the scriptures together. I should share that with you guys sometime, but just throwing that out there. So I think the many is going to be equal to that. There's that number, 33%, right?
Yep. Yep. Kind of makes me wonder too, because I'm kind of sidetracking here, but we already know that we've got some fallen angels now. But then I think about when the dragon sweeps his tail across the sky, he takes a third with him. Is that like a third more, or is this a third who where some of them are already doing their business here on Earth, and when he drags his tail across, he's just basically wiping their existence out of the sky and just throwing them to Earth.
Yeah,
Would
I think so.
Do you think that that has something to do with the war in heaven as well as the those sitting on the fence? So a third of them. So I'm wondering, because we already have them here.
Well,
I'm
they're
wondering if there's
they're like Satan though, right? They go back and forth. It's not that they're kicked out of heaven yet. Satan's going back and forth and they can go back and forth, but there's going to come a time when they're locked out of heaven completely, right?
so I guess we can assume the day that the tail is dragged across the sky, they're all coming down, and that's
Yeah.
it.
but I
Yeah,
think
and
there's
there's
more. I think there's more. I don't the ones that are going back and forth, they've already made their choice. That's
oh
pretty
yeah.
obvious. But I
Yeah.
think there's more, and they're sitting on the fence. And that's when, like what Christina was talking about, the sweep. That'll be the sweep. A that'll be a third of them. And it'll be picked up and thrown down.
Yeah,
That's what I see.
personally I think the total number is a third.
Yeah,
But
exactly. The
okay.
total
Yeah.
number is a third, but I don't think a third is down here yet.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that. No, no, we hadn't seen all of them come yet. Oh, I
No,
think we'll know it because it'll be
right.
all heck breaking loose. Yeah.
Right. That was my point, that
Oh, yeah.
a third is not going up back and forth. Only a small percentage of that is going back and forth. There's still a bunch up there that are gonna fall.
Yeah, I
That's all I'm
agree.
saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yep. Well, just like humans, there's a bunch kind of on the
Oh
fence
yeah.
right now, right? Or not
Hmm.
knowing what they really,
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
or not even sure if there
right,
is a, you know, God type,
right. But they're about to be shoved into a decision. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yep. No, I agree with that, Deborah. Yeah.
All right, ready for chapter 45? Therefore, so far as you are able, instruct the people, for that labor is ours. For if you teach them, you will restore them. And I think that's something that the bride is going to be doing in the millennial reign. But Baruch, he's instructing the people in his time frame.
Yep.
Okay, I have a question. How does that work? I mean, I have tried to gently teach people and they don't they don't want to. I mean, how much are
You
we
can't.
responsible for?
You're not. Well, I just read in there today where, you know, if people don't want it, you keep your mouth shut. Where was it? I was just reading Proverbs 9. You're not responsible. You kind of throw out seeds and then you can tell. Um,
I think it's different for Baruch because he's a priest,
yeah,
and
yeah,
people are looking to their priests for direction. So,
right.
and so he's just given the direction to do that. Now, us, well, we're not priests, and the best
No,
thing we can do is
Right.
just, yeah, throw seeds and water them when it comes our way.
right. Here's what I read today, though, that made me think. It's Proverbs 9, verse 7. He who corrects a scoffer gets shame for himself, and he who rebukes a wicked man only harms himself. Do not correct a scoffer, lest he hate you. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love you. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will still be wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of Yah is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. But in other words, don't, if they're a scoffer, meaning they don't want it, they don't want to hear it, they haven't asked you any questions, don't. It's just going to cause you grief, right? And they're going to hate you and probably hate the word even more. But
You know,
only those who are wise.
what's pretty amazing to me is that there's a lot more of that than there are who have willing ears to hear.
Oh, yeah.
And so we don't get to go out and share this stuff very often, but when it does, it is a blessing.
Yeah.
It's like it's the difference between those that want to live in darkness and the others that are really they have a love for truth. Because I really think it starts there. You have to have a desire, a passion for truth.